Okay, before you leave, before you click away from this channel, real quick, I'm not a person who talks about a phone, like the price of it. I'm not talking about the specs. I'm not talking about like features that's missing that should be on that device, or just create an issue about that device that's non-existing. But if you're here watching my channel now, you will get what it's like to actually use that device. So let's go. It's so Delvon Digital here, and welcome back. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the battery life. So a lot of you want to know how's the battery life of the Pixel Fold, but like I say in every video that I do with every phone that I talk about, everyone uses their device differently. They use different apps and they live in a different climax. So therefore, battery life can be very, very, very subjective. And for me, battery again has always been pretty great. Of course, the first week I was using it, I was going through the learning process, and after the phone actually learned my usage, which I never use Wi-Fi during that process, and I actually killed the battery completely, and then I let it deplete, and then I charge it all the way back up, and I do it like 3 more times, and I kind of let the phone learn my usage on 5G and no Wi-Fi. So that means when I use the Wi-Fi, I will save even more battery because the phone has learned to use and learn to calibrate my usage on 5G on the network 24 hours, 24/7 versus being on Wi-Fi most of the time, which I am on Wi-Fi a lot at home, at work, or when I'm not out and about, I don't be on Wi-Fi, but battery has been all day for me. I have really no issues of making it through the day with this Pixel. I was a little nervous based off the early reviews of it, but again, my usage pattern is different from everybody else's. Battery's been great. The next thing I want to talk about is the design of the Pixel Fold. A lot of you don't like it and some of you hate it, and we know why you don't like it, but in this video I'm really not going to talk about that because I personally don't really care. So with that being said, I love this design. I actually love it. It feels more like a iPad-ish type ratio going on here, and I love the outside screen. Frankly, I know a lot of people say they use this screen more than they use this screen, but I actually use this screen more than I use this screen, and I actually like that. I mean, why would I buy a foldable and just use the outside of the screen? So the design of it is really good, and it actually feels like it has some good weight to it. It feels real premium, and that's something that's actually missing out of my Pixel 7 Pro. It doesn't feel as premium as most other phones on the market, but this one right here, it lines up right with the rest of the phones on the market, and the crease and everything like that is a non-issue for me. The bezels, I barely even notice them. I mean, obviously when you're using a device, you just kind of don't focus on that. You just focus on what's the content that's on the screen. So for the bezel people, I don't know what to say. Get another phone. The outside screen, I love how small it is. I love how it's one-hand friendly. I love that about it. And when I'm using my slab phones, I go back to this, and I go back to my slab phones, and I'm like, they just feel way too long at this point. But I love the feel of this phone. So I haven't had any issues of brightness outside or inside or anything for that matter. It's just been really great. The build quality, I can't really say because I haven't had it long enough. Maybe after a year or so, I will tell you about how the build quality held up. But as of right now, I feel like it might last a good portion. So we'll find out about all that later or whatever. So I am using a case on it, and I do like using skins on it. So you will see skins on my device eventually, and you will see different cases on it because I actually love using MagSafe when I'm in the vehicle. So therefore I use a case, but I prefer to just use a skin by itself and no case at all. But we'll get to that point in life one day, maybe when Android decides to actually put MagSafe built into these phones, and then I can be completely with a skin on my phone and no case. I would love that. But other than that, I have no issues with the design of this device. I love the aspect ratio. I love the inside screen and outside screen. Just everything just feels great and fluid for me. Elephant in the room, we do know that this is using Tensor G2, and there's people who have problems with it, and there's people who don't have problems with it, and there's people who hate it, and there's people who love it. Give or take, I really don't care. The performance, it feels like a Pixel. However Pixel performs, that's how it performs. It's really good. I have no issues with gaming, watching movies, editing photos, or I haven't even tried videos, but just in general, just performance is what it is as a Pixel. I feel no difference in the performance at all. So it's not really much I'm going to talk about in this category, because it's, if you own a Pixel 6, 7, or any Pixel for that matter, you know that the performance is going to be good. So this is no different. I kind of want to talk about my usage with this device. So my wife, she gets on my nerves a little bit because I'm always taking my phone. I'm like, babe, look, babe, look, babe, look. And she's like, I don't care about the little stupid little flip phone. And yeah, she talks about it, whatever, but she doesn't know that I'm actually going to make her use it and actually review it to you guys. I think it's going to be bad because she doesn't like the concept of a folding phone at all, and she just don't care. But anyways, I want to talk about my usage a little bit. So I'm using like basic apps like social media apps and stuff like that. There's a lot of controversy behind that because like most of the apps, they say they don't fit. Let me tell you something. Android, right? We all know Android. Android always had a big tablet issue when it comes to apps. That has not changed because Google made a foldable. It has not changed because other manufacturers are making foldables. It is still an ongoing thing, and something that Google is going to have to kind of force in the future, that force kind of like app developers to actually make apps for tablets and larger screens, which we all can see that is happening now. It's just not happening at the rate that everyone wants it to happen. But let's just give them that time, because Google for once is now taking foldables and tablets serious, and they never done that in the future, in the past, compared to everybody else. So people have to make workarounds like Samsung forcing apps, and that's not a solution. To me, that's not a solution. It's just a quick fix. It's not going to fix the app problem. So we really need developers to actually get on top of these apps. With that being said, because I am aware of this problem, I'm not complaining about these apps, because there's some fixes for most of them, and that's just taking the device that you're using when you open it up this way right here. It's simply just rotating the device that way so that the apps can actually fill the screen. And I actually prefer using the Pixel this way because it's easier to hold in tight. So when it comes to apps, I'm using social media apps. I'm using, of course, the camera app. I'm using editing apps like Lightroom and stuff like that. All these apps work tremendously great on the Pixel. Obviously, there's a few that just don't fit the ratio, but again, it's not an issue. And if it's really an issue, when you open it up and it don't fit, just use split screen, because I personally find myself using split screen all the time now. I wasn't a split screen person when it was a slab phone, but now I'm a big time split screen user, because now I have two phones. That's what it feels like. It feels like two phones side to side, right beside each other, so I can have my Instagram app open or have my YouTube, just say studio open or something like that, and they both fit perfectly, obviously, and stuff like that. So I actually like the fact that it's a foldable, and I like using apps side by side. So it's a non-going issue, but I really do hope that Google really kind of push these developers. I'm with you guys out there. I'm with you guys. Don't think that I'm not, but I'm saying we gotta stop sitting here crying about this or whatever. If we're gonna talk about it, let's report this stuff to Google. Let's talk about it that way, more constructively, so therefore they can give us a proper solution, because talking about these apps not fitting and complaining about them is not going to change anything, because it hasn't changed over the years, and it's a slow burn right now. So anyways, I have no issues, and I actually love using my phone unfolded. So in my closing remarks of using this device, I just want to talk about a few other things real quick. First, I want to talk about flex mode. I actually like flex mode. I use it not that often, but I use it. I like it when I'm watching like YouTube videos and I have nothing to prop my phone up against. So it's a really good feature to have and everything like that. Also, love the camera. The camera in this device is just like any other Pixel camera. I know a lot of people say it's like shooting with the 7A. I never used the 7A. I have the 7 Pro and 6 Pro, and I want to say that I really can't tell the difference between the photos that come out of both of these together at the same time or whatever. It seems like it's really more so depending on Google's processing power that they have, and it's been really good. So photos out of this has been, I don't miss my 7 Pro camera, if that makes any sense to any of you that's watching this video. I really can't hardly tell the difference. It's a camera, it does the job, and it works really great. So I have no issues with the camera quality. I want to talk about cases as well. Cases for this phone has been really hard to find. Right now I'm using a Pitaka case. That's what I'm using currently, because a lot of the cases add bulk and stuff, and I also want MagSafe. So finding cases has been pretty hard for me. I just really prefer to use a skin on this, but I really love MagSafe, and I've been using MagSafe for quite some time now. So I gotta have a case, at least one case with MagSafe. but I prefer to use just a skin. Another thing I want to talk about is the fingerprint reader on the side. I do not really like it. I actually miss unlocking my phone so many times throughout the day, so I kind of converted to face unlock, and that kind of works, at least get me through the daytime. But at nighttime I'm bound to using that fingerprint reader, and I really don't like it. I know a lot of people said it's really good. It probably is, but I'm just not used to finding that button and hitting it, not yet at least, and maybe it'll get better the more I use the phone. But right now, sometimes when I put my finger up there, I literally miss, and I gotta think about it, and I hate that. I love in-display fingerprints better, ultrasonics, all of that, just so much better. And I thought I liked physical. I do like physical, but it's just, I guess, the way that Google did it on this Pixel, I'm not really, me personally, I'm not really liking it. It's just a personal thing because I keep messing up. So if somebody else is using this and they're not messing up, man, please tell me how. But right now I suck at finding that fingerprint, and that's just what it is. And yeah, I just don't really like it. So I'm about to go ahead and end this video now. I really love this Pixel. I'm not trying to convince anybody out there to buy this device, but I'm telling you right now, I think that I'm over slab phones now. I'm probably, it's too early to say right now, but I might skip on the Pixel 8 Pro series this year. I don't know. I just don't know. This is kind of like a Pixel channel, but I don't know, because I might need to get it just for you guys to cover it. But man, I'm really enjoying the foldable phone or form factor right now, and that's kind of like where I'm at right now. So please forgive me if I don't get it, but I will be covering the Pixel 7 Pro still afterwards, if that's okay with you guys. But anyways, the Pixel Fold is definitely my new everyday phone, and I really enjoy it so much, and I will be covering more on the channel as we progress through this. And anyways, this is Delvon Digital, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.